Victoria is officially cooked. After more than 54% of Victorians said no to the divisive voice to Parliament, Premier Jacinta Allen gave her citizens a two-finger salute and enshrined the state into race-based politics via a treaty which passed Parliament last night.
Ayes 21, no 16. The Council has agreed to the bill without amendment.
Great, just what a state with record crime and record debt needs: a divisive treaty at a cost of tens of millions of dollars a year to the taxpayer. I mean, Victoria is already a burning inferno, so why not just add more fuel to the flames? 24 hours ago, all Victorians had the same rights. 24 hours later, that's all changed. What began as a plan to improve the lives of Indigenous Australians is now a power grab that'll turn the state into two classes. And after the legislation passed, the Premier said, "This is how we build a fairer, stronger Victoria for everyone." Yeah, a fairer, stronger Victoria for the 65,000 people who identify as Aboriginal, not the overarching 7 million residents of the state. There was no public debate. Nobody voted for this. So why is it there? Well, according to the treaty, it's because traditional owners enjoy a sacred relationship born at the first sunrise and sustained for over 60,000 years that can never be extinguished. It's the 7 million Victorians who get to self-extinguish as they are shackled down to funding. How much? Well, we don't know yet. But as the Premier has previously said, everything is on the table.
A whole range of other matters will be put on the table for negotiations, so I'm not in a position today to rule anything in or out about what might be considered through those treaty negotiations.
Yeah, we know what that means. Money, reparations, compensation, anything goes in Victoria. And we already got a glimpse of that this week when St Vincent's Hospital announced that Indigenous patients are receiving fast-tracked health care at its emergency department ahead of semi-urgent and non-urgent patients. So treating patients by race. This division is being forced upon us, and as I said, nobody ever voted for this. And now it's about to get a whole lot worse under treaty. And watch the state change pretty swiftly. Under this, a new Indigenous representative body called Gelong Wall will elect its 33 council members. Oh, and if you're part of the ordinary 7 million Victorians, you get to pay for it to the tune of $70 million a year. So what will happen in the short term? Well, in schools, children between prep and year 10 will be indoctrinated into truth-telling curriculum, never mind English, maths or science. The Indigenous body will oversee training programs and guidelines for public servants to ensure they are culturally capable, move over goals and KPIs, and welcome the brave, rare and wonderful new world of cultural capability, where the body will then monitor public servants. I mean, will bureaucrats be doomed to a daily welcome to country under these new workplace cultural capability rules? The new body will mandate that government departments consult on programs affecting Indigenous people, require new legislation be assessed for treaty compatibility, and establish a new naming authority for geographical features. So it's like when you travel with Qantas. You know, you look at the board and it says you're flying to Borlu, when all you want to know is that you're flying to Perth and that you're actually at the right gate. So if you don't speak or read an Indigenous language, too bad. Confusion continues. Oh, and there's more. The group will be given a dedicated named room in Victorian Parliament. So a parliament within a parliament. That's what it sounds like to me. While the treaty legislation states the body does not limit the power of state parliament, it provides Gelong Wall with broad and undefined powers with the intention that they evolve over time. You can see where this is going, can't you? One set of rules for one group and one set of rules for another.
I think it's appalling legislation. Victoria en masse voted against the voice, against treating Australians differently based on their skin colour. This treaty in Victoria is giving certain rights and privileges to one group of Australians over another.
And this is just the start. It's the Victorian taxpayer who's going to cop the repercussions of treaty. everyday, hardworking citizens who've done nothing wrong but are being made out to be the enemy and as the people responsible for any injustice so that Jacinta Allen can feel good about herself. This is race-based politics, and it's been forced upon you by left-wing governments who are tying themselves in knots of guilt. And it's not just Victoria. South Australia has a First Nations voice to Parliament, despite only 10% of Indigenous voters turning out for its state voice election. 10%. And South Australia claimed it was a great result and went ahead anyway. So what's next? I mean, it started with preferential hospital treatment. It's about to infect schools and workplaces and state parliament and inevitably laws and regulations. And for you, you'll have to cough up the money. Now, what's clear is left-leaning woke governments won't stray away from this separatist agenda despite the will of Australians. It's the type of division that 60% of us said no to. I mean, we aren't some sort of apartheid country, but Victoria is there. Could the message of the voice vote have been any more clearer? Apparently not. The political elites have decided for you. Unless, of course, you're one of the 65,000 who identify as Aboriginal in Victoria.